Follow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Competitive Speed Series. It's yet another round of racing.
What's going to happen in turn 1?
4, 5 red lights here in Shanghai.
They will need an even bigger miracle.
This is completely flipped on its head.
Now the gloves have come off.
You will not believe your eyes.
Oh, it's the wall! For the first time, EVE have won a race.
They have beaten the unbeatable team title for TF10. They are back on top.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Competitive Speed Series. It's yet another round of racing.
What's going to happen in turn 1?
4, 5 red lights here in Shanghai.
They will need an even bigger miracle.
This is completely flipped on its head.
Now the gloves have come off.
You will not believe your eyes.
Oh, it's the wall! For the first time, EVE have won a race.
They have beaten the unbeatable team title for TF10. They are back on top.
Good evening and welcome everybody, and hope you are all well. Welcome along to Competitive Speed Series for round 3, Monza, the Festival of Speed, or whatever you want to call it these days. It is such a high octane track that, you know what, it is just incredibly fast here. We've definitely got some standings to talk about. Qualifying is very much just around the corner as well, and we'll soon, very, very soon, be going to having a look on track to get things sorted. We're just waiting for the first cars to go out there. And actually, you know what, let's have a quick look at the standings, because Shazoo Cedars are at the top of the list right now with 109 points over Precision Racing in second place. 75 points for them in that position. ET8 there, 54 points in third place as we continue to pop down the current championship standings. AMR in 4th on 49. Venturi in 5th with 39. 35 to Team TF10. IRT at 34. And with 29 points is FRT. RSC Esports with 2. And then AMS with 2 in 10th place as well. Cars are very much on the track now, so we will very shortly go on circuit to see who's going to be the ones to watch right now, as we will, you know what, let's go on board with Tony Richet, as I will just quickly move to the racing scene. And there you go, the Red Bull driver just warming up the tyres before going into Ascari, and then really probably going to push those tyres far more as they go into Parabolica. Turn number 11, this is exactly the sort of race where straight line speed is absolutely paramount. Last week at Belgium Spa, obviously the race of the real F1 tonight was a absolutely incredible one to have as round 2, but round 3 for Monza, and you know, a completely different track yet again, something a little bit different. No cars getting in the way of Tony as they're heading into Varante, or not the first Varante della Vitafiglio, as they're just managing, I think, a little bit off the curb there at turn 2, the second part of the Vitafiglio, and maybe causing a little bit of unstableness. But Curva Grande now and into the second Varante, and it looking over the curbs and maybe a little bit wide out of into the exit of turn 5, which could cost a little bit more time to the rapid Tony Richet as they're heading through the two Lesmos now and exiting turn 7, the second of the two Lesmos, and down heading towards Ascari, which when you are going full pace can cause a little bit of a problem here. And it looks like it's a very well taken corner for the Shizou Cedar driver as they're heading on down towards the curve of Parabolica. Turn 11, massive amounts of speed coming through, and a massive amount of energy transferring through all the tyres, which is using the tyres more and more. And obviously you don't want to use these ones in the race, but it's a 17.5 to start things off with for Tony in the Shizou Cedar team. We've got other drivers coming through. Let's have a look at Franek in the McLaren heading through. The IRT team there is Fatboy Farty managing a 117.8 as the PR driver managing a 118.1 there. Wards with a 117. RS Confliv with a 118.7. So the drivers are coming through now, but we are on board with Franek as they continue on down towards the curve of Parabolica. Then what sort of lap time is this one going to be for the IRT driver as heading through? Nice and steady at the moment, not using as much of the exit as you would have thought, and I wonder how this time is going to be. It's a 118.110, exactly the same lap time as Milk Hernin and his teammate Boom, IRT Boom, up into 117.8 there. Who else can we go on board with? Is Finley on a lap time heading down towards Ascari. 51.6 for their second sector lap time there. That could be, well, they are powering on down this last straight before the curve of Parabolica. And is this going to be a big lap for the Shizou Cedar team, who's already got one of their drivers on pole provisionally right now? Let us know in the chat who you think is going to take pole position tonight for starters. But here's Finley, takes it away from their teammate Tony Richet, and look at that, 117.5 to start things off there with Sergioli up into a 117.830. Samuel Barker heading through. Where's Brando? Just ahead. So we've got these two drivers. Well, actually, Samuel Barker, I think, may have invalidated. So it's going to be Brando, the ET8 driver, hopping over the curbs through Ascari. Heading on down, but there is an invalidation there as well. I think that's going to be done and dusted there. Drivers pulling over away still. I wonder if Brando will just finish the lap time to see what that lap would have been. Or are they flying into the pits? No, having a look to see what it was. It would have been a 118.0, which would have put them just above Lars, VNT driver, in 13th place there. And URL Snack, the next driver coming through Parabolica. They are on an outlap, so a little bit of time to wait for them to set a lap time right now, as we will just continue to hold station for the time being here in Monza, waiting for drivers to come through. And you know what, the last time we were at Monza on the Xbox side of things anyway, I know this is now console tier, but the Xbox side of things was round 10. It was a mystery round in season 4 2 seasons ago, and it was won by Shizu Ogwin. So we've got the Shizu Cedars currently 1 and 2. Maybe that could be something to think about through all this. They've got some pedigree at this track, some history at this track as well. But there was calls for late safety car drama in that race as we continue to watch Ural Snack come on through with Gabor on old hards in P2, losing the lead heading into the Parabolica. So we know that action can be here, can happen here as well, as some incredible action throughout the competitive speed series is a little bit unsettling the car through the second Varante della Roggia for URL Snack, which hasn't been ideal for them. Through the Lesmos, still seem a little bit just off the curbs, but the DRS is wide open, so they're still pushing on this one. We've got an outlap for Samuel Barker and RS Confliv as well, so they'll be wanting to set a banker on, because you need that banker just to make sure you know where things are going. As Fatboy Farty on an outlap as well now, but an invalidation here for URL Snack. Let's see what they can do, or whether they will go into the pits or not. Or if they'll see what sort of lap time it was. But they have definitely made a mistake through, because their lap time's so far off at the moment. It looks like an into the pits for them. So the RS Confliv driver, RSC, I should just say, the RSC on Flive, probably better that way. But they're just starting their lap time. And just to take your mind back, if you didn't watch last night's race, it is a recommendation to watch that one, as the PC qualifying was a mixed bag event from wet to dry, and it was a 122 to get pole last night, round 3, and then the race was won by VNT Simon. So definitely not to spoiler it, but it's definitely one to watch, and hopefully you can take the time to re-watch that one a bit later on. But for the time being, we are on board with RSC on Flive, and heading down towards the Varante Ascari, and hopefully this will be a decent lap time for them. We will just wait to see how it will continue to pan down for the time being, and we will just see what their lap time can produce for the time being. Into Parabolica they go, and it's definitely something to keep an eye out for the time being. Across the line, and it's up into P16, so they were faster, but just not fast enough. Samuel Barker was on a lap time as well. That's Snack going back out, trying to pick up any sort of slipstream from that Alpine just ahead of them. But I think that's actually probably done them worse, going through wide out of there and flying back into the pits for Samuel Barker, who could be on a lap time here. One of the two drivers that were on the same lap time, but we probably have someone a bit further into a lap. Max Power, I believe, possibly has done well, but Tony Richet is going slow. A lot of drivers possibly on laps or through it, but anyway, we will see, as Sergioli is on just on an outlap as well, so we won't go on board with them just yet. But the PR driver coming through into Ascari now, slightly up on their lap time, enough to get them into the 17s if they keep on pressing like they are. And at the moment, it is looking very, very solid for PR Mick Erlin. Michaela? We'll go with Michaela. And across the line for PR Michaela, it's a much better lap time, throwing themselves into P10. IoT Boom then just coming through. We might be able to go on board with Sergioli at some point as well. The 88 driver, obviously well known from last season as well. But Boom then heading down through Ascari into Parabolica. This is definitely going to be where we need to watch out for. Where they need to watch out for, to see what sort of lap time they are able to produce on this occasion. And across the line for Boom, it's a 1:17.700 straight down the line. and into P5. Sergioli then, over to you, heading into Parabolica, up on their lap time. That could be, well, if they keep on going the way they're going, that could be enough to go into the top 5 themselves as well. Let's see what they can do. Heading on down into Parabolica, keeping well to the right-hand side, keeping away from some of the bumps there down that back straight. Through Parabolica they go. And will it be a good enough lap time across the line? It's provisional pole. What a final section there from Sergioli. That is absolutely insane for them. Let's see whether Finley can do anything. Finley looks like they're going slower, if anything, through this lap time. Through Ascari, down past turn 10. One more corner to go. The absolute, well, some say one of the more difficult ones, considering it is just a nice, easy turn right. But you're going at such a pace, you can, well, overdrive it and underdrive it. And through they go into the pits. Didn't believe it. I thought they might do something a bit different. Ward's throwing themselves up into P3 for the time being. Here's their teammate, TF10 Orts. Well, they're not on a lap time, are they? AMS Devil then, 6 seconds down on their lap time. And Ferrari was going quick just ahead. That Snack, who did manage to get a lap time in, but they have invalidated. Boom, Brando, Sergio. Brando up into P5. Good lap time from Brando. But I suppose that is going to be this part, this set stage of the qualifying done and dusted. We've got plenty of time left. And Snack just slowing down the driver in the Ferrari team for tonight. Just to try ease those tyres through. And here we go. Anyone on our lap? No one deciding to go out yet. So we just watch the Ferrari man driving in, the ANR driver. Nice and simple. No cars, nothing on track. And we've got Brando heading to the pits as well. So a little bit of lull in proceedings for the time being. So while that is going off, I will just remind us and go back to the standings page for the time being, just to remind you that the Shizu Cedars Igniters are on the top of the pile at the moment after 2 rounds and very much in control. But with the points going down to 15th place, anything can happen and things do change. Hello, Zach in the chat. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Zach Styler. And you know what? We've got a car. RSC Enzo back on track. So let's have a look. Qualifying 3 minutes 54. Well, this is about to really hit up in qualifying tonight, as some tyre warming there for RSC driver. 1:18.366 on their outlap. Wards is on an outlap, as is AMS Lucas. Up into the top 10, AMS Lucas. That's good for them. And so showing some real promise this season. It's just not always come through, but they should take the positives out of it. A lot of drivers waiting a little bit longer. These guys don't probably want the hassle of slipstream and possibility of losing things. As a Ferrari heading out of the pits as well. Is that Maxim? As we will wait and see when it comes out on an outlap. A Ferrari driver is definitely out on track, but which one it is Maxim. There we go. As we will wait and see what this RB V-Carb car or the RSC driver can do tonight. Heading down, Enzo then. It's down the start-finish straight, heading into the first Verante. And there's a car that has come out just in front. It's his teammate of all things, possibly causing a little bit of problems. And have they let off? They have. Oh my goodness me, the RSC team will be thoroughly disappointed with themselves for getting that all wrong. AMS Lucas, are you on a lap time? You are. You're just starting. There's a few more cars getting in the way. Oh my goodness me. It's an absolute carnage of cars, and the back end steps out by AMS Lucas, and I wonder if that's going to be continue on full pressure. It is for the time being. This is going to be an interesting run. The red light is flashing, so they're probably going to... I thought they might give up on that lap time and go again. Ward's in on a lap time somewhere around as well. Let's have a look where Ward's is on track. Ward's is just behind, so we'll stay on board with AMS Lucas and see what is the way of things at the moment. There's a lot of yellow cars. There's a gaggle of cars heading into Parabolica. You don't want to get caught up in anything if you can help it. And it looks slow for Lucas on this occasion. There's a McLaren, just one of the IRT drivers just weaving behind. So Lucas will go again. What about Wards? Let's have a look for Wards. They've invalidated as well. So who could we go on board with? Samuel Barker, yet to set a lap time of all things. And you definitely don't want to be starting at the back of the grid here. But you don't mind it too. It's not the worst place to start at the back. But I can't see the first challenge materialising unless a safety car comes to help. Here through the first Lesmo and see what Samuel Barker can do. Heading on down one of the back straights. Into Ascari they go. What can Samuel Barker do? A 51.7. Not the fastest we've seen coming through Ascari. And they've got not much time. Well, they won't be able to do another lap with the ERS that they've used. So heading into Parabolica, there's nearly every car is on a lap time now. 24 seconds to get your lap time to complete. Orts is the last driver to come across the line. Samuel Barker up into P9. They finally set a lap time. Maxim heading into the first Ferrante. So they've set lap times already. Who is possibly next to go on board with? Have we got, is it AMS Lucas? Slightly down on their lap time. Currently P12. What can the AMS driver do? Heading through Parabolica. They need every bit of ounce of energy they can find to come across the line and set. It is quicker. It's up into P8 for the AMS driver. And that's a good start for them. Also, just about to start one. Where is Fat Boy? Farty across the line. They're going to climb up the order. Up into P3. Sergioli has taken provisional pole, and it's looking very much like to be pole. Tony Richet was unable to do anything on that occasion, so we can't see what they're doing. Lars, are they on a lap time? We've got other drivers coming through, and other drivers are really struggling through it as well. We'll go on board with Tony while they finish their lap time and see if they will do anything. There's a red light flashing for Tony. They're 4 seconds down, so they're not going any faster. Maxim has invalidated. Samuel Barker won't go any higher than 13th. Max Power is massively down on their lap time as well. And RS Confliv have invalidated. Is that qualifying over and done with? Lars coming through is invalidated. So that is it. Qualifying done. Qualifying dusted. And we're going to see Sergioli on pole. SCI Finley in second. Fat Boy Farty in third, with fourth going Tony Richet. Lars there in sixth, as we see TF10 Wards there in sixth place. Seventh to Brando, which has done a pretty good lap time right now. I don't think Max Power is on a lap time. No, he was massively down. I'm glad I was going through the order and not concentrating on that one. I'm pretty certain they weren't on a lap time, but here we go. We'll go to the order properly again. It's Sergioli from Finley. Fatboy Farty, Tony Richet, Lars Linden, Wards, Brando, Marlon, Lucas, Boom, Max Power, Maxim, Samuel Barker, My Killer, Snack, Horse, AMS Devil, RS Conflove, Franek, and Enzo rounding out the 20 drivers today. And Enzo may have been wondering what if, because of the drive, because of a teammate possibly causing an issue into Ferrante del Rettifilio, which is not ideal at all. And maybe a little bit of words coming from those drivers as, oh, goodness me, that wasn't meant to go as big as it was. Just bear with me 2 seconds. I just need to fit to screen. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? Because that could have been far worse. Right, let's just adjust. Oh, there we go. There we go indeed. Right then, let's head back to standings page, and that is Shazoo Cedars being on the top of things right now with 109 points. It's looking grey on the track right now, so there could be a chance of rain. I wonder. I will check the chat, but I wonder if we're going to have something spicy happen tonight. It would be wonderful if it was, but we can understand if being in Monza, you don't always get rain, but sometimes you do. And when you do, it is an epic race. But Precision Racing, PR in second place. They've got a lot of work to do to catch Jesus Sida's ET8 Motorsport there Esports, in third place. And they are the Mercedes team. So Brando and Sergioli have a lot of work to do to get through. But Sergioli, being pole position, has probably done half the job today so far, but they've got to keep it. And a long run into turn one, they could see themselves getting swamped. In fourth there is AMR Esports with 49 points, 39 points to Ventatauri. Team TF10 with 35, just 4 points further down. Then 1 point behind them is IRT Esports. Then a further 5 points down is FRT and RSC Esports with 2 points in ninth place, and AMS Alien Motorsports in 10th with 2 points as well. Well, let us know in the chat who you think is going to take victory today. I am not sure yet, but from qualifying performance, Sergioli obviously has a great shout, but I can't see much other than, well, PR and Shizu Cedars having a great set of drivers, but so does ET8. The teams are here for a reason, because they are very, very solid drivers. I need the solo cam, apologies. And yeah, plenty of awesome drivers here. So we will have to wait and see who is going to be the ones to really make the moves tonight. But almost certain it's going to be a medium to hard driver setup. But some drivers will try the other way round and try the hard to medium. With the lesser fuel in your car towards the end of the race, you are going to be faster on the mediums. So let's see what the drivers will come out for. And if there is rain at certain points in the race as well, if we do have a mixed bag, then that could play a part into things as well. Also, if there is a safety car, not to broach that subject and you know, cause a safety car, because I've spoken about it. If there is one, then that if you start on the hards, then it's more difficult to get to the end of the Grand Prix. But as things stand right now, not to give anything away, majority of drivers are starting on the medium compounded tyres, with a few maybe bluffing for the medium for the hard starts of this Grand Prix. I am just going to check the chat to see when things are going to come through, just to see. There's nothing going on at the moment, so we will wait and see, and wait for the timer to kick in. But at the moment, just to remind everyone who drives for who, or which team drives in which car, we've got ET8 in the Mercedes, IRT in the McLaren, VNT in the Williams, RSC in the V car, Red Bull in the Red Bull are the Shizu Cedar Igniters team, PR are Aston Martin, AMR in the Ferrari, FRT is a Sauber, AMS in the Haas, and then TF10 in the Alpine. And just to remind you, it is Sergioli on pole position, with SCI Finley in second, Fatboy Farty in the Kick Sauber in third, and fourth place to Tony Richet. The two Shizu Cedar Igniters on, Tony Richet behind Finley on the second row of the grid. But we are going racing. We are on five red lights here in Monza, in Italy, the home of speed, really, and away we go. It looks like a really good start in the foreground for Tony Richet as they come on through. Defensive Sergioli, Finley trying to find a way through. Could it go 3 wide? No, it's not. Finley holds on to the position for the time being. It's all squabbling between the two. There's some contact behind her. Williams gets kicked off. Tony Richet takes second place away from the teammate, but they're side by side just behind. Fatboy Farty dropping like an absolute stone. Positional changes is all over the place, but let's have a look at the tyres. Everyone does start on the medium tyres for this Grand Prix. Let's have a look at the positional changes, but down 6 places is Fatboy Farty. Max Power is up 3 places. There's a Haas in the background doing really weird and wonderful things. But yeah, let us know in the chat who you think is going to be that takes victory tonight. But look at the positional changes all over the place. A Ferrari and an Aston Martin in the background, getting very, very squirrely. That is Samuel Barker losing a few places because of it as well. And my goodness me, Ferrari and Aston Martin having a massive moment there. And Samuel Barker dropping away. Let's go back up to the leaders where Finley and Tony Richet hunt down as Fatboy 5. Are they trying to get a move back? I don't think so at the moment. As we roll on through. Makilla dropping a position. Fatboy Farty losing a place to Boom as well. Towards the front of the grid. Tony Richet is getting closer and closer and closer. In the background there's a RB swapping positions, but here comes Fatboy Farty and Boom still fighting away, and there's a William without a front end plate there. What has happened? There's some more fighting. That's a Mercedes around, and the Williams clips the back end of Finley there. There's damage to some cars. My goodness me, it is all a gaggle here as well. Snack, I don't know, there's definitely hoping no incidents through. My goodness me, it's very close, and there's a front bit of carbon fibre from an end plate of the front right of a car flying off into Ferrante della Regia there, but nothing going for at all. And then, wow, we are going to have a look at who has got the front wing damage. I believe it is Lars Linden. Yeah, there's a lot of front wing damage on that Williams as well, clipping the back end of Finley. Other cars definitely getting damage through that as well. I believe maybe Orts, the other TF10 driver, as we see a lovely image coming down here. Maybe it wasn't Orts. Maybe Orts doesn't have front... Oh, no, front left damage to Orts. That's not ideal for drivers when you need as much, well, wing as possible through here. But heading on through, deciding not to pit like Lars. Lars dropping down the order a little bit. It's not ideal for them. But both PR drivers struggling at the moment. Hoping to take a little bit more. AMS Devil just in the background having a little squabble with Samuel Barker. And Samuel Barker looks like they're struggling as well, but no front wing damage to them. But there is front wing damage to AMS Devil, who's trying to go around the outside of the Curva Grande. Now to the inside, but just can't find a way past the PR driver of Samuel Barker for the time being. So he's kicking off. Let's go back up to the leaders, because they've got a little bit of a break. To the top four have a little bit of a break. To Lucas in 5th place, the AMS driver, having a wonderful drive at the moment, as we will go on board with Max Power, who is trying to catch Lucas just ahead. Look at the line, different lines taken by both drivers through there as they head on through Ascari and heading towards Parabolica. To the left hand side of the track goes Max Power, and there is a yellow flag for something in the background. That's Enzo, I think, losing a little bit of grip, or maybe is there any damage to the car? They're looking like it, so we'll go back up to Max Power and Lucas as we head on down. As a change for the lead, Tony Richet takes the lead from Sergioli, which we're expecting the lead to change a few times tonight. And there goes Max Power on AMS Lucas. Lucas will just need to cling to the back end of Max Power, and then maybe try and retake that position a bit later on in the race. Wards just sitting on the back end of the top 3 at the moment, just waiting in the wings to see if anything will happen. Sergioli will need to make sure that they don't, well, get into a game with the Shizou Igniters team. So you don't want to be playing when 2 drivers of the same team at the front. You can start just working, well, they're teammates. They'll work together, won't they? And this is what the team events are all about. Boom. Trying to find a way through Fatboy Farty in P7, but at the moment, no way through. 2.3 seconds behind AMS Lucas is Fatboy Farty at the moment, as they hop through Ascari and battle away for the time being. The leaders still are Tony Richet, Sergioli, SCI Finley, and TF10 Wards, who have got a 2.2 second gap to Max Power in P5, and AMS Lucas, who are battling for that 5th place position for the time being. But Lucas looking like they're dropping away a little bit at the moment. Keep got the DRS to help them pull along, I think, for the time being, as here comes Boom, trying to find one way or another past Max Power, but nothing doing at the moment. Lucas getting closer and closer. It's been no avail on this lap, and they could lose DRS with this pace that Max Power has got at the moment. Seems like they're matching the drivers in the top 4. Drivers going onto the hard with the AMS Devil, Michaela, and Lars with Franak deciding to go onto another set of medium. So they've pitted early and maybe hoping for a safety car for the time being, which is unfortunate for them, for their race anyway. Lucas still sticking in with Max Power to the currently, as we just keep on watching Boom at the time being, and I wonder if it is worth having a little look at the front, because Sergioli is trying to catch Tony Richet at the moment to retake the lead of the Grand Prix. Qualified on pole with a wonderful lap time. Did the ET8 driver do, as no retirements as of yet. Franek 3 seconds behind the runners that have pitted, who are 16 seconds. Enzo having struggles as well, but here is Boom. Boom Pie, maybe? Boom, I'm just going to call him the IRT driver as they head on down the start, finish straight to start. Lap 6 and 27 on this one, so plenty of time to action to happen. And just in the background, you've got drivers moving out of slipstreams to try save the tyre wear, because with these ground effect cars, they will have a little bit more wear to them. There's nothing doing with the battle for Boom and Fatboy Farty at the moment, but they are losing ground to Lucas ahead. It's now 2.7 seconds, while Max Power is catching the cars ahead towards nearly agonisingly close outside of the DRS to Finley ahead. And that now has, it was broken for a little bit, but they seem to have a better exit of the second Lesmo, which means they have caught back up to Finley. Nothing happening in this, well, third train, you could say. They are dropping to the cars ahead. The top 6 are now 3.2 seconds behind. Lucas now outside of a second to Max Power ahead, and that could be crucial with everything going on, because Fatboy Farty is catching now. It's 2.5 seconds, so there must have been a mistake for Lucas through Ascari, because they lost about 5/10 of a second, half a second coming through. Will there be, is there enough ERS in this Haas? It was flashing as they head on down the start finish straight, as there could be finally a move for P7 to the racing line. Goes Boom before Fatboy Farty. Fatboy Farty had the right to go back onto that racing line and go racing again. It's looking very, very close here. It's now 1.5 seconds between Lucas and Max Power. Tony Richet still leads his Grand Prix on lap 7 and 27. 21 laps still remaining, or just under 21 laps. Enzo into the pits onto a set of hards as well. This is probably the closest battle we've got. AMS Devil and Mike Killer, though. PR driver did swap positions there, so we'll keep an eye on everything that is going on. Let's go to the leaders. They deserve a little bit of screen time as they come through Ascari, heading towards the Parabolica for the 7th time. What can Sergioli manage to produce down the start-finish straight? Is there going to be enough pace in that Mercedes, in the, well, do you call it the ET8 Mercedes, I suppose, down the start-finish straight to start lap 8 of 27. But again, the ERS usage from the drivers looking absolutely spot on for the time being. Is there going to be any moves between these drivers? There isn't. Again, they are using their ERS to their advantage into the pits for Samuel Parker, the PR driver, as the back end stepping out there for Fatboy Farty. I wonder if these mediums starting to feel the grain a little bit, feel the wear, feel the pressure going on. At the moment, the voting, 22 people voting at the moment. Who's going to win? Who's going to? Well, 11 people voting. Who is going to win? Let us know in the chat. We would love to hear your thoughts and everything through that. Devil and My Killer swapping position. Devil having a good switchback though. What a drive out of the exit of the first Verante, and AMS Devil getting the position back. Fair play to the AMS driver. fighting hammer and tong with my killer there, the PR driver. Wonderful stuff between the two of them. Lucas is being caught by Fatboy Farty, struggling with those tyres at the moment as we go back up to the leaders of this Grand Prix. Sergioli did get pole, was leading this race, lost the lead on lap 6, and has since been in P2, unable to find a way back past Tony Richet, who's leading this one. VNT Marlon into the pits, as is Yaris driver. 3-second penalty, the second one of the evening, going to Samuel Barker. So both PR drivers having issues for the time being, and that's unfortunate for them with their pursuit of the Shizu Cedar Igniters team, who are currently sat first and third. So no, well, at the moment, I don't think you could say you could double stack the SCI teams. They're too close together. The Shizu Cedar Igniters teams are definitely too close together to double stack. So one driver will have to go further than the other. And we'll have to see when the pit stops for them start to come in. VNT Marlon and VNT Lars are now, I don't want to say net lead of the Grand Prix, but they've got an undercut going on. Lars definitely, well, with 6 laps more on those tyres, will struggle a little bit, but maybe Marlon will help them go further into this Grand Prix. Let's continue on watching the leaders as Tony Richet and Sergioli. When do they pit? Not this lap. We know that much because none of them are deciding to plop over. Fatboy Farty still gaining ever so closely on Lucas. And just as I go on board with Lucas, they throw themselves into the pits. Anything happening to Boom Plane? You know what? Let's go on board with Lucas. Let's see the pit stop happen. Onto a set of hards for the AMS driver, the Alien Motorsport team. Nice little pit stops there. Where will they go out? Where will they come out? Where is going to be Marlon in all this? Rounding the Parabolica now. Down the start-finish straight. The tyres are going to be much nicer on those cars, as Lucas will come out ahead and will need to heat those tyres up quickly, but it's going to have a little bit of traffic to contend with as they head on through. And that will be absolute incredible information for Fatboy Farty, Max Power, to see where those drivers come through. Finley has dropped outside of the second mark to Sergioli in that lead battle. This could be interesting. TF10 Wards is having a great race. We've not spoken much about the Alpine driver, the TF10 driver, at the moment, because they are just happily sitting in P4. Have we got pit stops yet? Neither driver in the lead pits. Into the pits though, Finley and Wards and Max Power. Where is Fatboy Farty and all this as well? Well, Fatboy Farty follows in, so they've got to hope that there's no... Oh, goodness me, that was very close for all drivers, nearly to collect into the back end. Let's have a look at AMS Lucas. They've had a lap to try and undercut any of the drivers ahead out the pits. Finley looks like they're coming. They've round Parabolica now for Lucas. I don't think they've had enough time to do anything through this. Well, if anything, it looks like Marlon might overtake them, heading down into turn 1. Not caught up, and Marlon takes P6 away from AMS Lucas. Now it is time to have a look at Finley and Wards, because these are the ones to watch. Finley may have slowed down enough. Tony Richet no longer the leader of the race. They are overtaken by Sergioli. Lap 11 of 27, no retirements yet. Maxim into the pits. The Ferrari driver, or the AMR driver I should say, Brando down to 13th place at the moment. It's unlucky for some, and let's hope it's not unlucky for Brando right now. Fatboy Farty unable to jump them. Fatboy Farty behind Brando all of a sudden. That's an interesting one. We'll have to see what happens there. Max Power then is next on Marlon's hit list, but they're 2.4 seconds down the road. Marlon being absolutely harassed now by AMS Lucas, and this could be another swap in positions when they go down the start-finish straight. And Sergioli has pitted. Finley has pitted. I suppose let's have a look at Finley as they head on down the start-finish straight. It is a bit of an odd decision to kick Salvers, and here comes Finley. Are they going to overtake their teammate into turn number 1? I think they hold off and allow it come through. My goodness me. I thought Max Power was going to career into the back of Wards there, but it's now a three-way fight for the lead. I say that, Sergioli trying to push away. And I wonder, there was a 6-second gap between Fatboy Farty and Max Power. I wonder if there's still not enough time to get your driver in and out. Finley with a 3-second time penalty. That is gutting for the Shizou Cedar Igniters team, because that will cost positions as things stand. And, well, at the moment, Lucas might see that and think, I can grab myself an extra points as they head on through. We wonder if there is going to be, well, we said about the race last night at the PC side of things, and PC drivers last night got punctures from tyres 15 to 17 lap olds. We've had punctures in console tier 1 before, quite recently as well. So it's not an all things said and done. One stop is the likelihood here, but is it going to be that way? Are we going to see a late safety car? Are we going to see anything special? We'll have to wait and see. In the background, what is the gaggle of cars here? Oh my goodness me. There's cars all over the show, all over the shot. They can't find a way through. My goodness me, it is an absolute gaggle of cars. The Williams driver of Lars is doing a wonderful job of holding them all up. And wow, somehow they managed to get through to turns 1 and 2, the first Verante, without a massive incident at all. Fatboy Farty does make a move as well. AMS Devil trying to get past my killer in P15 and 16 there, but it's not happening. So we stay on board with Samuel Barker, who's trying to do something different and popping out over the exit of the second Lesmo, the first Lesmo there may have cost a little bit of time. Lars holding up massively, and this could help the leaders decide their strategy. They may decide to go for a 2-stop. We'll have to wait and see. Ward's Max Power should be fine, but I'm thinking Marlon. I wonder if Marlon and Lucas may be thinking of doing a second pit stop. We'll have to wait and see. But they have the drivers behind Lars at the moment, the VNT driver, are getting frustrated. Is anything going to happen? The RSC driver having a little bit of issues and been doing at the moment. Marlon and Lucas swapping places. Ooh, defensive. Is that a little bit of weaving coming in from Lars as they heading on through into turn 1, and unfortunately no way through for the RB driver at this present moment in time. Still kicking off, well, I say kicking off, still a very close run thing. Lap 14 of 27. It's a great race so far. A little bit of a chess game, to be perfectly honest, as things stand, as we continue to watch drivers getting very, very close together. And we were watching the battle for P8, and it's very, very entertaining at the moment. Max Power's got themselves back into the swing of things. The FRT team getting themselves into the swing of things, and there we go, defensive again from VNT Lars, but the driver's unable to find a way through, and maybe RSC driver unable, well, losing a bit of ground through following through the Ascari, and boom, trying to find a way through. But Fatboy Farty, who was in front of all this before the pit stop, is now behind, and it's all gone a bit odd. Max Power taking P4, and surely we're going to see a little bit of a swap of position for the battle for P8. Defensive, ultra defensive from Lars as they head on into turn 1, and surely, oh goodness me, that is very, very close between the two of them. And a swap of position with Brando, as Brando trying to find a way through past Boom as well. And on this occasion, I think, well, Boom might have the inside to the second Verante, but at the moment the curve into Brando might have the better traction, heading off through, and has to settle behind. And this is where the RSC conflict driver needs to just bolt away from this battle, as it is really kicking off. Max Power into 4th place, another 3-second time penalty for AMS Devil. That's not ideal for them. this is absolutely all crazy stuff from VNT Lars. Those tyres aren't going to survive much longer if the PC is anything to go with. 15 to 17 lap old tyres and the puncture will happen. So let's see how it will all go down. A little bit of skew-whiffiness behind, but it's all settled itself down as Lucas and Marlon swapping positions again. That's another one. As Finley, max power, my goodness me. Finley struggling for pace. Is there damage to that car? I can't see anything, but Finley now down to 4th place. And the leads, well, the podium positions have changed for the first time since entering turn 1 of lap 1. And Finley, who started this race on the front row of the grid in 2nd place, is now down to 4th place, where where their teammate Tony Richet was. So we'll have to wait and see with how this is all going down. As Max Power up into 3rd place and breaking the train between them and Tony Richet in 2nd place. AMS Lucas still with the VNT driver of Marlon there in 6th place. As well, we've got a fair few drivers battling away. Samuel Barco's finally pitted again and going on to hard to the end of the Grand Prix. I wonder if we're going to see any more. There's no rain scheduled, so we won't have that aspect to worry about in this one. Max Power trying to power themselves back into the fight for the lead, but it's Sergioli's or Tony Richet's right now. They're 1.8 seconds behind the top two, and Finley has a little look to the inside, but nothing doing. And if we have a look at the lead gap to the leader, yeah, there's a fair whack of drivers as Mike Hillett deciding to pit as well. Brando and Lars swapping positions finally as well. They're still kicking off a little bit, I suppose, through the first Ferrante, but at the moment it is all nice and simple. Well, I say nice and simple. Here comes Lars again, as Brando just doesn't have the pace to get fully through that. The VNT driver is absolutely causing a roadblock. There's 3 seconds now between Lars and the RSC driver who got past a few laps ago, who is on, well, who's 8 seconds behind AMS, Lucas and Marlon. So great bit of defensive driving for the moment from Lars, just to make sure they have as much gap going. Last point scoring position at the moment is Enzo in 15th place, who I believe is at the end of this train. So anything can happen right now. Are we going to see a swap? No, Fatboy Farty doesn't get through. Let's go to the leaders. Max Power holding station as well. Finley hopping over the curbs, trying to find any which way to get closer to Max Power, but not on this occasion. Let's have a look at the penalty situation here tonight so far. Finley with 3 seconds, Comfort with 3 seconds. Positional change for Brando and Lars again. These two hammer and tong through turn 1, and surely not. Boom's trying to get involved as well. Around the outside this time, not happening. Fatboy Farty and TF10 Orts trying to have a little bit of a hammer and tong through Curva Grande as well, but it's not happening on this occasion. Heading on down into the second Ferrante. Oh my goodness me, that's very, very close between the two of them, and through goes Snack into P12 with the squabbling Orts and Fatboy Farty through the Lesmos. And my goodness me, it's still kicking off between the two of them a little bit. Wow, and Fatboy Farty with front wing damage there as well. That's not ideal for the AMS driver, not the AMS driver, sorry, the FRT driver. Not ideal at all. Back to the battle for the podium positions as they head on down. Finley is trying any which way at the moment to get on through, but it's not happening. As we look at the penalty situation again, Mike Hiller on 3 seconds, Samuel Barker on 13, 6-2, AMS Devil and 10 to Franak as well. And into the pits goes Lars. So we have a look at the tyres situation once again. Lap 19 of 27, no retirements as of yet as Lars pits, as does Fatboy Farty, probably to try and get a new fresh front wing. As that has just changed the complexion. Lars is defensive positioning has changed the complexion of that race a bit further down. We have a look at the leader gap. I wouldn't recommend the leaders to pit, but they would get out in that gap just in front of Maxim. So it's not a problem. Fatboy Farty getting a 10-second penalty to to add to their troubles as well. It's not ideal for the FRT driver. And well, Lucas managing to get past this time on Marlon and then pull away from the VNT driver. And they will set their sights back onto catching the top 5 and maybe an outside shot of the podium, but it's a bit probably a bit of a tall order for the AMS driver, but some good points on offer here for AMS as long as things go their way. Oh, the penalty can be removed for Fatboy Farty there. So that'll be good for them, but currently down to 19th place, so it might be a bit moot, depending on the situation of the race when at the end, I think, is whether they will go for it or not. But we'll continue watching on this battle for let's go. Oh, Samuel Barker is swapping position with their teammate, so that could be one to have a look on. But yeah, let's have a look at the battle for the lead. Lap 20 of 27. Not long left to go in this one. And my goodness me, I do admit this could come down to right at the end. We could see Sergioli or Tony Richet make a mistake. They've got to ensure their tyres just stay alive long enough. VNT Marlon and RS Conflict will need to just watch how things go with their tyre life, if anything from last night is to go by. PC is generally a little bit, it used to be a little bit better on their tyre life. Franek picking up a 3-second time penalty, which is not ideal to their race. Enzo there in 18th. So a lot of drivers deciding to take that extra pit stop. Now, Sergioli is deciding to push a little bit at the moment and try and break the pace to Tony behind Enzo, the fastest driver on the track. But that is to be expected with a fresh set of tyres. Wards, Finley and Max Power still battling away for the final podium position. Let's have a look at this one as they head into Ascari. Wards trying to get themselves into the swing of things. Max Power has really, well, driven through the grid and done a really good job. Race pace is definitely there. As AMS Lucas repassed by Marlon for the battle for P6. They just need to keep fighting away there. Conflict 8 seconds still behind that battle for P6. They don't want to be wasting too much, but has got a gap to 3 seconds to ET8 Brando. Nothing doing into turn 1. AMS Lucas can't find a way through, as you see there. Conflict Brando. I wonder if Brando is under any sort of pressure as they head down. Nothing doing really on this occasion, but just boom, snack and alts coming along for the ride with Maxim further 6 seconds down the grid. Let's have a look at Tony Richet again. The battle for the lead of this Grand Prix is between Sergioli and Tony Richet. It's been like that for the majority of this race, to be perfectly honest, as it's 10-second penalty to Fatboy Farty retiring in the pits. Their race is done and dusted, and that is our first retirement of the race. On lap 22 of 27, we're heading towards the bitter end of this one. I say the bitter end, the business end of this race. Let's see how it will continue. Lars trying to find a way past Samuel Barker. The battle for P15, the final point scoring position. Maybe we'll get a little bit of their own medicine with the defensive efforts from this man. Well, these two drivers right now, 3 seconds to Samuel Barker, and that's going to help Lars pick up points because of the penalty situation. As they head on down into Ascari. It's like a green wall in front of Lars at the moment as they go through Ascari. 2 PR drivers. Not ideal on the point situation tonight, unfortunately. And again, pulling away from the dirty air of their teammate is Samuel Barker there to try and save maybe some tyres and then engine power and not overheat it. As it looks like Orts maybe getting past Snack. It is indeed. As we'll go back to the battle for P15. Will Samuel Barker have that on track, or will Lars get it? I don't think it is in the end. Pulls to the inside. Doesn't want to get too much slipstream. Nice done, dusted. Up the inside though is AMS Devil on Enzo. A little bit of carbon fibre. I think that's just the game showing that there was contact. And AMS Devil getting past into P17 for the time being, but they lost a little bit of time ahead. And back around the outside goes RSC Enzo, and back into position there. Back to the leaders, lap 23 of 27. As it will continue to fight on. It's looking very, very close between them at the moment. It's looking good. Let's see how it will continue to fight down. Look at the in the background there. That looks like Ward's just trying to cool his tyres down a little bit, and there's 3 seconds now between the front 2 cars and 3rd place. That is Marlon and Lucas very close together. Again, not losing ground to the driver behind, but hello Brando. Swap between Snack and Orts. With Boom just ahead, but Brando is catching the RSC driver ahead. And that could be some more points on the cards for ET8. They need as many as they can at the moment. Sergioli is leading the way of this Grand Prix, gaining maximum points for themselves. SCI, 2nd and 4th, will extend the table, I think, with everything being said and done, with Brando down in 9th place at the moment. Brando needs, sounds harsh to say, but a small miracle to get themselves any higher than 8th place in this race. Marlon 8 seconds further down the road from that as well. So yeah, Brando being caught up in that defensive play from Lars, who has now got past Samuel Barker in the battle for P15, meant that there was a bigger gap through all this in the race at the moment. Let's go back up to Tony Richet. Nothing happening on this occasion, and nothing happening for the battle for P3, the final podium position either. But Finley, with that 3-second time penalty, will drop away a little bit. Just looking behind, nothing doing. Max Power 3.4 seconds now behind Tony Richet, as things, well, just on the lap 25 and 26. Just, well, is this the calm before the storm? MS Lucas hasn't been able to get past Marlon for a few laps. Tony Shea maybe holding and waiting for the final time to strike. And Max Power just holding station at the moment in front of Finley. Ward's dropping away from Finley as well, and that could cost Ward's dearly. But again, it looks like a really good exit of the second Lesmo, which meant the driver was able to pull away in the end there. But no, nothing happening for the battle for P6 at the moment. Let's go back up into Parabolica for the 25th time tonight. There's more than likely plenty of continued action to have here coming through. We're on to the penultimate lap. Does Tony Richet go for it this time? He does. He goes to the inside, heading towards the first Ferranti, and takes the lead of the Grand Prix on lap 26 of 27. Just behind, nothing's doing, but finally, Tony Richet has taken the lead of the Grand Prix from Sergioli. I wonder if there's anything else going to happen between now and the end of the race. Sergioli surely is going to fight this one back as they come through the Curva Grande. And defensive from Tony for the time being, but nothing else doing. And that is, well, Tony in first, Sergioli in second, Max Power in third, and fourth to Finley, with TF10 Wards hanging on to the end. Max Power has decided to absolutely bolt it this lap as well to try and pull away from Finley behind. Samuel Barker is retired in the pits. They've had enough of this one. Lars getting past my killer there in 15th, now in 14th, and 5 seconds down the road is Max in the Ferrari. We are in puncture territory for some of these drivers as well, but back to the leaders. What does Sergioli Sergioli, sorry, do in second place. Do they pull to the inside of Parabolica? They don't. They're going to wait until the absolute fine moment here. Here comes. So Tony Richet, what can they do to keep the lead of this Grand Prix? Down the start-finish straight for the final time tonight. To the inside. They have not gone to the inside. Oh, they have now. They've finally gone to the inside, and there's an Aston Martin in the way. That's the PR driver in the way of this. And that's not ideal. That is. Back into the lead is Sergioli, and powering through Curva Grande into P1 does the ET8 driver. What can Tony Richet do here? Is there anything left for the SCI driver? Have they got anything left to give while they head on through the Curva de Lismo, the two Lesmos here? Nothing for Tony Richet. This is really close towards the end of the race. Lap 27 of 27. What can be done from the Shizou Cedar Igniters? There's driver, there's Confliv dropping down the order. Is that a puncture for them? We'll have to go to watch them in a moment. But here comes for the final time, heading towards Parabolica. Is there anything Tony Richet could do? I don't think there is. They are slower. There is no ERS. And there is ERS to Sergioli, and through the Parabolica they go. It has been a very chess-like game from Sergioli, but they've done an absolute wonderful job with it and winning the race for the first time this season. And Tony Richet coming home in second place there. Max Power will come home in fourth, with Finley dropping to fifth in the end. Franek getting the fastest lap of the race. There is Marlon. They have managed to pull away from AMS Lucas as well. Great drive from the both of those two. ET8 Brando will come home in 8th place. Oh, 8th place, sorry, for the ET8 driver. Boom, they're dropping down. I'm pretty certain the RSC driver got puncture in the end. Where is Maxim in all this? 16-lap-old tyres. They look fine. Lars is catching, but it's not going to be enough with the penalties to their name as well. Let's have a look at Enzo. Will come home in 15th place, maybe jump a position because of the penalties. Devil there in 16. And there is the absolute carnaged, poor old RSC driver there. That is very, very unfortunate in all this. But there you go. There you have it. Race for this one is kind of done. And I say kind of done and dusted. It is done and dusted. It doesn't look like we're going to get the breakdown of the order again. We've got... Ooh, we might do. We've got the podium here for the drivers, and Sergioli having an absolute incredible race, claiming that one in the end. As we see the Tifosi fans in full there. What a race for these two at the top, and Max Power in third place. Absolute incredible drive from them. Getting themselves onto the podium. We'll have a look at where they started in a short moment's time. No, we won't, because it's gone to that. It was, nonetheless, a great race. Let's have a look. That was the standings before this race. It was Shizou Cedar Igniters with 109 points, and they've extended that in the end. That is the Monza Grand Prix. Round 3 done and dusted. Round 4 will be in Miami. The first of 2 United States races this season. And, well, I tell you what, if tonight is anything to go by, we're going to see another strategic masterclass, I think, from some of the drivers out there. But we'll have to wait and see. To be certain, that's next week's race, to be perfectly honest. We're still here about this week's race, and it was an absolute incredible one if you're Sergioli in the end. But not if... No, not if you're not. Tony Richet had a cracking race. Couldn't find a way through that ET8 driver, and poor SCI Finley dropping outside, well, into 5th place with the penalties in the end. Ward's picking up some decent points, as the AMS team did as well in total, with Lucas's great run, great drive there. Could have been a bit more. Felt like they were faster than Marlon, the VNT driver, in the end, but in the end, it wasn't to be, and the extra points didn't go their way. I am just going to see if there is and there's no one in the waiting room, unfortunately, so no podium interviews this week, but we will be getting them soon. I'm almost certain drivers will get through in the end. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you come back for the Miami Grand Prix next Saturday for the PC side of things, and then join myself and hopefully Ollie will be back next week. I believe he should be back next week for the console side of things as well. But for now, really appreciate you being here. Goodbye.